Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Comic Hall. This is Dylan Lang, I'm your host. Almost coming upon my 2-year anniversary. So I've been doing this for quite a while. I started when Rebirth 3 started, so from that point on, I've been doing a pretty good job of steadily doing it every week for the last 103 weeks now. So here we go. This week is particularly special because I got my save the date for Selena Kyle and Bruce Wayne's wedding on July 4th, 2018. I have until June 1st to RSVP to Alfred, so I got it and you didn't. On the back, though, it let us know that there is going to be a bunch of comics leading up to the wedding, and I'm going to read them to you right now. You already have DC Nation number 0, which came out. If you haven't gotten it yet, go to your local comic book store and buy it. It's 25 cents. It came out a couple weeks ago. Coming out May 30th, which is next week, right? 16th, 15th, hold on, 30, 16. Hold on a second. Today is the 17th, 16th, 17th, 23rd, 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks from now, we have Prelude to the Wedding, Robin versus Ra's al Ghul, number 1. Then on June 6th, we have Batman number 48. And Nightwing versus Hush, Prelude to the Wedding, Nightwing versus Hush, number 1, also on June 6th. Then on June 13th, Prelude to the Wedding, Batgirl versus the Riddler, number 1. On my birthday, June 20th, because my birthday is on a Wednesday this year, so it's on New Comic Book Day. Batman Prelude to the Wedding, Red Hood versus Anarchy, number 1 is on my birthday, June 20th. Batman number 49 is on June 20th. Then on June 27th, we have Prelude to the Wedding, Harley Quinn versus the Joker, number 1. And then that's on June 27th. And on July 4th, we have Batman number 50 and Catwoman number 1, both highly recommended. And this is my RSVP, so I have been invited to Bruce Wayne and Selena Kyle's wedding. And you could be too if you go to a local comic book store, so check it out. You can also register, so I'm going to probably register also. Need to buy them a nice, I don't know, candlestick or something like that. Anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about new comics this week. Another light week this week since there's 5 Wednesdays this month. Things are lightening up, but I want to start with this cover. Actually, I really enjoy this cover. It's from Andy Kubert. This is part of the new books coming out of Metal. This is the New Challengers number 1. It's actually now a mini series, not a regular series, and that's odd, but I guess it's okay because this is the book that Scott Snyder said that he pitched to DC when he first came to DC and wanted to do it. So now he's finally has a chance to do it. So Scott Snyder and Aaron Gillespie is also the writer. Andy Kubert's pencils, Klaus Janson inks. So some nice looking artwork in there because Andy Kubert's got some good stuff and a really nice cover. And we'll see. This has more to do with Metal than the other books have because the Challengers were a big part of Metal. So it looks really good. The artwork is phenomenal, and it looks like it's something really, really cool. So I would definitely pick this up. And I think it's only going to be 6 issues, even though it doesn't say it. But when you go to the Diamond website, it has for 1 of 6. So that's a shame that this looks good, but I'm definitely looking forward to that. Looks like it's good reading. I bought this one because I bought the variant because I like this cover by Amanda Connor. DC is now doing where they used to have the variants and the regular books both would have the title and stuff like that. Well, variants now no longer have the title, so you know which one is the variant. So this is the variant of Batman number 47 down here below is what it is and who the creative team is. But it's Batman at a movie with his fiance, and you get all the other Batman and Catwoman and Harley and Batgirls and Poison Ivy and all the Batman rogues and stuff like that from all the different time zones, stuff like that. It's a really neat cover. I figured I'd go ahead and get that. So actually, they're all cosplayers. Never mind. So that's pretty interesting. So I want to check it out. It's written by Tom King with art by Tony Daniel, continuing the GIF storyline, where Booster Gold has come to give Batman a gift, like what would his life be like if his parents were still alive, that type of thing. So we'll see. It's been an interesting take on Booster Gold. I'm not sure if it's a take that I really, really like, but it's interesting. And Tom King hasn't steered me wrong so far with Batman, and it's the last one before the whole wedding business happens, so definitely check that out then. Superman Special #1 wraps up any lingering storylines that have happened in any of the Superman books because Bendis is coming sooner than later. It's written by Peter Tomasi and Patrick Gleason, who wrap up their big storyline with art by Scott Goldluski. They're the main storyline. But then there is, I'll just show you some of that artwork. It's wrapping up a storyline that they touched on earlier in their series about the Forgotten Island, the Dinosaur Island type of thing. So that's pretty cool. So you get to see one more Tomasi and Gleason book. We also get Mark Russell writing and Brian Hitch drawing a Superman story also. Mark Russell is the guy who's writing the Snagglepuss book and wrote the Flintstones book, which was excellent. And you get Brian Hitch doing some artwork here. And then, is there another story after this? Yep, this one is Ian Flynn writer and Kari Andrews pencils and colors, actually. So you get 3 stories here for the price of $5, which isn't too bad. The action one came out last week, I think, so this will keep you up to date with your Superman until Man of Steel starts, and also wraps up things from the previous Superman run. Speaking of Scott Snyder, his weekly series, No Justice, #2 is out this week. No Justice, not just written by him, it's written by Scott Snyder, James Tynion IV, and Joshua Williamson, with art by Francis Manapul and Mark Gusteau. So it's Scott Snyder's prelude to what he's going to be doing in the Justice League and connecting Metal to the Justice League. So we'll see. I'm not too super enthusiastic about this, but we'll see. Definitely worth a look, I guess. Next up, we've got a gorgeous cover by Stefan Sejic for Green Lanterns #47, written by Tim Seeley, with art by V. Ken Marion and inks by Sandu Floria. And it's going to be leading to the issue #50, I believe. So this storyline is coming to a head. John Constantine makes an appearance as well, as does Hal Jordan and some of the rest of the Justice League. So interesting take on things, so we'll see what happens. Brave and the Bold #4, written by written and drawn by Liam Sharp, has Wonder Woman and Batman and their fantasy battle taking on fantasy stuff. Gorgeous artwork by Liam Sharp. Batman and Wonder Woman, when they work together, is always an interesting take on things. So, and it's very fantasy-esque and not really like any comic book you've probably ever heard or read before. Harley Loves Joker #2 is the second of the 2-issue miniseries by Paul Dini and Brett Blevins, which wraps up the backup story that was in the original Harley Quinn book, the last that Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Conner were writing before they left. So this wraps that up. Artwork similar to the animated series, and it's written by Paul Dini, who was a big part of the animated series and created her. Another great cover this week from a book we find out has been canceled, Batwoman, Batwoman #15. It's a great cover. Continuing Marguerite Bennett's run on it. And Fernando Blanco is the artist, so we'll see what happens. There's been a lot going on with her in Detective Comics, and this book is, I guess, not selling as well, so they're going to, they're starting to trim things out, so this one is going to be disappearing soon. And also, it's kind of odd timing that we just discovered that next season's CW crossover with all superhero books is going to introduce Batwoman, so maybe there's going to be something else coming for Batwoman to do. Hopefully that would be a case. That's it for the regular DCs. From Young Animal, we have Cave Carson Has an Interstellar Eye #3. John Rivera, Michael Avon Oeming, which is really only the main reason why I'm still buying it, is because it's Michael Avon Oeming, and it's, you know, crazy, bizarre stuff. Young Animal is going to be changing things up soon also, so I don't know how much longer we got this. We also have a backup story in this one, written by John Rivera with art by Paul Marbury. It's a small little snippet of it. And then it looks like there's a prose story as well. So, well, not really a prose story, behind the scenes thing. So there's that. So that's it for DC. The only Selena and Bruce's wedding is not the only big wedding going on in comics right now, and it always seems rather odd that both Marvel and DC tend to shade each other or shadow each other very similarly, because we have Kitty Pryde and Colossus getting married. This is the wedding special, #1, which isn't the actual wedding issue. That's going to be in one of the X-Men comics, but this is the bachelor and bachelorette parties and a bunch of other little stories. There's 3 stories. First one's written by Chris Claremont with art by Todd Nook. The second one is Boys Night Out, with written by Mark Guggenheim with art by Greg Land, and then Something Old written by Kelly Thompson with art by Marika Cresta. So Todd Nook's artwork is always fantastic. He and Chris Claremont did a great job on the Nightcrawler miniseries, and this is just sort of a background on the Kitty Pryde and what she's gone through, and you get a little appearance by Nightcrawler, which is great. Boys Night Out has Colossus, Nightcrawler, Iceman, Pyro, and Gambit going out for bachelor party with art by Greg Land and Mark Guggenheim art or writing. You can't go wrong with that. So that's nice. And then Kelly Thompson writes the bachelorette party storyline. So pretty interesting. So X-Men Gold #30, that's in a couple issues. So you're going to have to do a couple other stuff before you get to the actual wedding. So this is just the wedding special. I figured I'd pick it up because I've always liked Colossus, Kitty Pryde. I haven't been reading the X-Men, so I really don't know what the hell's going on. Avengers #2 is out this week. Also, Jason Aaron and Ed McGuinness and Mike Morales and Jay Leasteen continuing their new run on the Avengers, making them more, I guess, similar to what's going to be coming in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You've got Iron Man, Thor, Doctor Strange, Black Panther, Captain America, Captain Marvel, and She-Hulk as well. And so that's an Avengers book. That's it from Marvel. From Independence, from IDW, Bubba Ho and the Cosmic Bloodsuckers. For those who don't know who Bubba Hotep is, Bruce Campbell did a movie called Bubba Hotep, which is about a Elvis Presley who faked his death in an old folks home, and he's friends with a old black guy played by Ossie Davis who believes he's JFK in hiding after the assassination attempt on his body, and people start dying in the old people's home, and it's due to an Egyptian god type thing. This is written by Joshua Japkuga with art by Tad Galusha. So you're going to get a little bit of, if you like the Bubba Hotep movie, you're going to get a little bit of this. It's a new story, Cosmic Bloodsuckers. So next up, we have Gideon Falls #3, written by Jeff Lemire with art by Andrea Sorrentino. The artwork is the key to this, and the two of them work really well together. They did a run of Green Arrow, I believe, and some other stuff as well, and it was fantastic. So this is their Independence book together, and it looks good. Kick-Ass #4, Mark Millar and John Romita Jr., continuing the bloody and violent life of Kick-Ass. This time it's a female black lady. You wouldn't be Kick-Ass without mega violence and death and blood and beatings and torture and stuff, and that's what you get. A Walk Through Hell #1 by Garth Ennis and Goran Sudzuka from Aftershock. I don't know if I'm going to stick with this, but it's Garth Ennis, so we'll see what happens. And it's Aftershock. They've never really done a bad book, so I'll let you know about that later. BSG versus BSG #5, Battlestar Galactica versus Battlestar Galactica #5. So you get the Battlestar Galactica from the 1970s and 80s, taking on the turn of the century ones, written by Peter David with art by Edu Mena. So you get a crossover between all of them. And this is the 5th issue, so the last issue's coming up. I figured I'll just get them all, and then that'll be that. But I figured it was an interesting premise, and Peter David was writing it, so why not? Finally, this week we have Moonshine number 10, Brian Azzarello and Edward Risso's mobster / werewolf book. Looks stunning, and Brian Azzarello is one of those really good actors or writers as well. It is bloody and violent, and does have some sex and nudity in it, so just be forewarned, it's not for the little ones. So that is it for this week. Some nice covers, some good books. Definitely go out to your local comic book store. Check out any of these books and anything else. And if you're lucky, you can get your own save the date / invitation to Selena Kyle and Bruce Wayne's wedding. So go ahead and do that. Actually, I wonder if we do it, if we'll be listed in like the comic or something like that. So I'm going to actually check it after I get off the air here. I'm going to see what's going on. So that's it for this week. Go to your local comic book store this weekend. It's going to be rainy, miserable weekend again. So go pick up some stuff. Stay at home and read a good comic book, a good trade paperback, whatever. If you decide to go see Deadpool 2, which comes out tomorrow, or Avengers, if you haven't seen Avengers Infinity War yet, or if you're going to see it for the 3rd or 5th time, after the movie, if you see the movie, why don't you go to your local comic book store, pick up some Deadpool stuff or Avengers stuff or any of the comics I showed you there, or see what else they've got around there. It's a great business, and you might find some stuff that you like. I will see you next week for my pre-Memorial Day weekend comic haul, which is going to be very exciting because it's going to be a 3-day weekend next weekend, so that's very exciting. But for now, we still have 8 days until the 3-day weekend, so we'll make it through. Take care, and we'll see you later. Buy comics. If you don't know where your local comic book store is, go to your search engine, type in Comic Shop Locator Service, or CSLS. When the search engine searches and finds what you need, click on it, get to the website, type in your zip code. It'll tell you all the comic book stores in a 20-mile radius of your house. Okay, bye.